welcome to episode 9 of Talking Loyal. Arsenal remain top, Haaland scores again, Spurs are still unbeaten, and West Ham are in the bottom 3.
Evening, Tate. How are we?
All good, thank you, mate. All good. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. All good. Ready for another episode.
Episode 9. Episode 9. So the return of the Premier League this week. Thank God, because last week it was very boring.
Yeah, it was. I know we're obsessed with football, but I did think, like, what do normal people do who don't like football? How can you actually get through a weekend of not just watching 90 minutes of something? It's
well,
painful.
even international football to look for. Well, I say look forward to, but here we go.
No, it's good. Glad there's something on.
Back on episode 9. Right, let's start with the teaser. So, this as Song Heung-min scored a hat-trick at the weekend. Did you know Son became the first substitute to score a hat-trick in the Premier League since 2015 and the first ever Tottenham player to do so as a substitute? Since 2015, so who was the last player to do this as well?
As a sub, score a hat-trick?
Yeah, the last player. I've made that really confusing. Who was the last substitute to score a hat-trick in the Premier League?
Okay.
And it was in 2015.
Interesting.
I'll leave that with you and the listeners. And we'll revert back at the end of the pod.
They're never easy, are they? I've been all for them, the ones you've done, but yeah, bloody hell. All right, yeah, we'll come back to that. But yeah, should we start with the Friday night fixtures?
Friday night football.
Forest at home to Fulham, weren't they?
Yes. So Forest opened the scoring, didn't they? 1-0 up early on.
A
1-0 after about 11 minutes. The guy they signed from the German club, wasn't it?
Union Berlin.
Poor result, I think, for Forest.
Yeah, it's hard because I looked at that game as well, and like Forest would have looked at it the same in that it was a massive game for them. That Fulham, sort of a similar level, they obviously just got both promoted, and they'd look at that and go, right, that's not 3 points definite, but that's a huge opportunity for us to get some points on the board, and they've failed again. They're really struggling, I think.
Well, like I said, they're the sort of games that you have to win in and around at home to the teams that you said are going to be in and around you, and to go 1-0 up. And back-to-back home games now. They've lost to Fulham and Bournemouth, both 3-2.
Yeah. Conceded 3 goals at home.
3 goals in 6 minutes as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You had Ada, I can't even remember butcher's name.
Adebayo. First Prem goal as well.
Yeah.
First Prem, and then Paulinho. Nice little finish.
And Reed scored both good goals, to be fair. Lovely.
But like I said, it happened in
6 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So happened so quick. It was just bang, 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 and yeah, Forest didn't really know what to do with it in the second half. But yeah, like you said, it looked like they started well. I've only seen the highlights, but it looked like they started the game really well, and they obviously got their goal, and they're probably buzzing with that. But
I mean, I think that's the sort of place that is the City ground, isn't it? If they start well, then it should be a tough night for the opposition. But they got into half time 1-0 up, and then second half, like I said, just capitulated.
Yeah,
3 goals in 6 minutes.
Fulham are decent. They look.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I think I said they'd get relegated, but it's still very early on. It could be still on, but they just seem like a solid sort of mid-table. They'll cause a few upsets, play well against the big sides here and there, and get some good results. And
what is promising for Fulham as well, I think, is there's 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers, and none of them are Mitrovic.
Yeah.
To finally take the burden off him a little bit.
Definitely, and good goals as well. Like we said, Paulinho's strike, even Reed's finish, sort of first time, like a bit of a half volley, like a very good finish. So
it's a great result for Fulham, and they're now 6th. I know they've played more games than United and who else around there, Chelsea and that.
Forest
6th place.
Forest lost 4 in a bounce now, 4 in a row. That's not good.
And back to back, I said, against Fulham and Bournemouth are poor. That's 6 points that you should have.
They got 4 points and 19th in the table just for the international break. It's just not looking good for them, is it? It's just not looking good.
A couple of nights ago, you said Fulham really looking to improve, and they've got Willian got his first assist of the season. Maybe felt a bit ill when I saw that.
Yeah, but I saw everyone saying how well he played.
He was running around sprinting.
I just thought of you.
Honestly, he's hit the 3rd goal. He's played it, and he's sprinting into the box, busting a gut. I'm like, mate, I did not see that fatty do that. But
that's what
once for us.
We said when he signed. Like, is he bothered about playing?
No, is he even Premier League quality anymore?
Yeah, obviously the other night he was. So, I mean, for Fulham, if they can get if he can play 5 to 10 games like that,
Yeah.
don't know, 10 to 12 points.
Yeah, well, yeah,
they'll be over the moon with that.
Yeah, if he can get 5 to 10 goal contributions,
Yeah.
Like he's
He's
way
done the job,
way
yeah.
outlasted what he did at Arsenal.
Yeah.
He got I think about 2. He scored
And
1 goal.
Yeah, and that's like Fulham have done it. What Forest have done now? They've done that years ago, where they spent a load of money, bought a load of players in, and chucked the kitchen sink at it, and thought, right, this is how we're going to stay up.
Just shambolic.
And maybe it's not the way, because Forest are doing that now, and it's not proving that it's going to work.
They ended up signing Aurier and then did it on a free.
Yeah.
I saw it, but I was like, wow.
He was sat in the stands watching on. I was just like, he must be. If he's thinking, bloody hell, why have I signed for these? There must be an estate.
But I don't think one of them, like, is it Nico Williams they've got playing right back? Like, he's not bad, and they spent quite a bit of money on him.
Yeah, he's quite a decent
I'd much
player.
rather play him and see him make mistakes than have to watch Aurier make mistakes.
I think we said the other day, like, we sort of spoke about it, but like signing players that have this experience and sort of European or Premier League experience, like, they're probably looking at, right, he's played Champions League, international football, played for Tottenham, but bloody hell, why are you bothering?
Yeah, and then tell me 5 good games he played.
Yeah, exactly. And
he might have played all these games. He's shitting all of them.
You speak to 90% of Tottenham fans, they just tell you how awful he is, and somehow we've replaced him with a even worse right back in Royale. But yeah, these like Forest have just spent and just bought here, there, and everywhere. All these bought this sort of random group of players together, and it's
well, Lingard didn't even start either, did he?
No.
And talking about obvious recruitment, Fulham have recruited well this summer. Well, I think was it Polina they signed from Sporting Lisbon? Was it?
Yeah, Portuguese.
I think it was.
Centre midfielder looks good.
He started really well. Scored his first goal of the season. I think it was his first, maybe second. But he has won more tackles than any other player in the Premier League, with 19.
Bloody hell!
And also applied more pressures than any other player.
That's a great stat.
Then
Huge stat.
If you can define a pressure to me,
what that means, then yeah.
I don't know how to how do you categorise a pressure?
Well, if you watch, according to the stats, if you look at Paulinho and then watch Højbjerg, I can tell you the opposite. The opposite to a pressure is Højbjerg. So
it's sitting off.
Yeah, if you stand off and just shuffle your legs left and right, you do all right. But
no, great result for Fulham and moving to
very
6th.
Good.
And
very good.
Before we move on to Saturday games, we'll touch very, very briefly on the other Friday night game, which was the one that was televised on Sky. And I've got one note here. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 0, Jacob Ramsey, and it was described in our group chat and over Twitter I was seeing as, was it the most boring Premier League game ever?
But I think potentially, I think it could be. Richard Keys has come out and said as well that, it was the worst Premier League game he's ever seen. Bear in mind, Richard Keys
he's probably watched
the late 50s and probably watched thousands of games, so definitely not one to talk about or even really bother thinking about.
To write home about.
But then quickly on that, I know I just said all that, but that's a loss for Southampton there. Hassel, another loss, just sort of goes under the radar. Nothing's really been said. They've lost 1-0 against a poor Villa side. An awful game apparently, so both teams contributed to that. But yeah, Hassel just
Gerrard out the woods.
Again. Sorry,
Gerrard out the woods.
I think he's fine. I don't think he's in trouble. I think not. He's obviously under pressure, but I don't think they're not worried about getting rid of him yet. I think they believe in him, but a poor Villa team, very poor Villa team.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to their local rivals. Wolves, the early 12:30 kickoff. Molineux, wasn't it?
Yep.
Well, this game was over with him after 55 seconds, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
A point on that I wanted to make. I don't know if you've seen it online. The video going around of Jose Sarr tapping in the tunnel.
Yeah, in the tunnel, I saw
tapping De Bruyne and saying, "I'll take it on, please." Because he scored 4
You've
goals there.
You've lost
that mentality, you've already lost.
That's so poor. That is so poor.
Like, I know it could be considered a joke, but still, it's like you're going in thinking, "Oh, here we go."
That's like a Premier League game. Wolves are a competitive side. Even in the game itself, I know they lost 3-0, went 1 down very early on, but when it went down to 10 men, they were actually quite decent and they give it a go. But when like you said, your goalie's doing that in the tunnel, it's not like me and you have got a load of mates together and we're going to go and play Man City.
Yeah, you're like, come on, mate.
Haaland, mate. Just give us a rest. Like, maybe just use your right foot today, or maybe run with your eyes closed or something. But Jose Sarr is a Premier League
international
goalkeeper. He should be going in this game wanting to kill all the Man City players, not tell their best player, just take it easy on me, mate. You scored, I think, a hat-trick last year.
4 goals last time.
4 goals. So it was poor. I saw that. Very poor.
But and then obviously the robot scores again.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. 11 Prem goals already.
11 in 7 games. And he's first outside the box and I think it might be his first right-footed one.
Yeah, with a right
Might
foot.
correct me on that if I'm wrong.
No,
but
it was his right foot. A bit of a wasn't that scuff, but it wasn't the cleanest of strikes.
Keeper probably could have done a bit better, but it was a great goal.
He's a brilliant goal scorer, isn't he? And slowly showing how good he is as well.
And if the game wasn't over after 1 minute or 16 minutes, it was definitely over after 33 when fucking Nathan Collins comes through charging through.
Kung Fu kick Grealish. And then I don't know what you're trying to claim to the ref. He's looking at him like...
There's players to Kung Fu kick and then there's players to Kung Fu kick. You're not getting away with it if you Kung Fu kick Jack Grealish. He'll make
and you see him on the floor like, screaming his like bloody nuts off, but... It was a terrible, definite red.
Well, going back to what you said about he was complaining to the ref. Did you see how long it took him to get off the pitch? He was absolutely distraught. He was like, "No, what have I done?"
Yeah, I think he just knew because he was trying to sort of apologise to Grealish and stuff. But yeah, just a definite red. Just silly tackle.
It's just ridiculous. Well, I said I think a couple of episodes ago about Wolves. They don't concede many. I know they lost 3-0, but they don't seem to concede many. But they also do not score any.
They've scored 3 goals and conceded 7, I think.
They've scored 4 goals at Molineux since April, and just to compare that, Man City have scored 8 goals since April at Molineux.
Yeah,
they've played there twice there, and they've scored 8 goals there.
Yeah, and so I heard as well they haven't scored in the second half or something.
Yeah, it's just
Wolves haven't scored in the second half of a Premier League
game. They don't look threatening. Like, how do they play against you? You beat them. Was it 1-0?
Yeah,
1-0.
They are.
I think that's going to be a lot of Wolves games, and they'll be 1-0 either way.
And it looks like they've only lost 1-0 or they've drawn 0-0, but excuse me, they don't do a lot. They don't threaten the goal at all. They've just got Diego Costa in, who couldn't play at the weekend. He's not fit enough.
Hasn't played since December.
He's had like 8 months off or something.
And
8 months.
Thing is, since Wolves, obviously I feel a bit sorry for them since Jimenez got his injury.
Yeah, he's not the same.
He hasn't been the same. They bought that Fabio Silva for £30 million. I think he's on loan now. But he's not even good enough.
No, he's so. Yeah, he's far too young and like lightweight. Just not as Wolves need a centre forward like Jimenez is and can be, but they need a real focal point. And Silva wasn't the answer.
They just look poor, and then City complete control. Although they, like you said, Wolves did play a bit better, and
when they went down to 10 men, they would. I think Neves might have dropped into centre half.
I was really impressed with him when he played there.
He looked like he had like a bit between his teeth, and he was like wanting to fight everyone and give everything he's got. You got nothing to lose after 2-0 down. 10 men. There's not much against the best team. There's not a lot you can do wrong. So he showed a bit of fight and stuff, but that's just not good enough, is it? In a game like that, they're not gonna do anything.
And then Foden killed the game off on 69 minutes with a lovely little flick.
Second assist for KDB, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was his 92nd Premier League assist, which brings him level with Steven Gerrard and 1 behind David Silva.
Yeah, he's already got 6 assists this season as well.
Yeah, which is nuts.
And then again, that like I mentioned, but that partnership of him and Haaland. I know he set up Foden and Grealish, but him and Haaland, that little similar to what Son and Kane and whatever the partnerships over the years, but that combination is scary. Yeah. That is going to be frightening.
Well, the thing on Haaland I just wanted to add, which is nuts. The best Premier League striker probably the last 3 years in the Prem has been probably Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He's second top goal scorer with 6 in 7 games. It's a very good return.
It's unbelievable, and that's just swept to the side.
That's just at Spurs. So another note. Obviously, Jesus scored again, and everyone's saying how good Jesus has been for Arsenal. Blah blah. He's now got 4 goals in 7 games, which again is a good record.
Yeah.
If a good striker normally manages
solid start
1 every 2.
Yeah. Well, bear in mind, was it August that Kane never scored in for seasons? And that was. Although that was highlighted, it was like, it's okay, he'll score 20, 30 goals. And he went on and did. But, Haaland, 11 in 7, 3 Champions League goals.
1 in 2 is good. It's like a very good return for a good player. And then it's normally 1 in 3 would have like your Olivier Giroud, maybe your Jermaine Defoe sort of player.
100%,
but 11 in 7 is
it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
Like I said, Jesus has started the season with 4 goals. He has 7 more goals than him already. It's just nuts.
Yeah, and
only 1 penny.
Hasn't even warmed up yet. And like you said, he only scored 1 penalty. He scored an array of goals already. Scored with his right foot. Scores weird Champions League goals with like a bicycle acrobatic kick. Like just.
It's 14 in total, isn't it? 14.
Yeah.
Because he got 2 against Seville, sorry.
Yeah.
And 1 against Dortmund.
Yeah, the blokes.
Yeah, so 14 and 9.
I heard someone say earlier as well that, like, if Haaland was at, like, about the goal scoring records and the tallies that he could get, but they were saying, oh, if he was at Madrid and maybe he went to the Liga and they beat everyone 6-7-0, but Man City, what do? They win 4-5, 6-7-0. Yeah, so he's going to do absolutely fine in the Premier League, and if he stays fit and plays as many games as he can, he'll score, like we said, 40, 50 goals quite comfortably.
Well, you see at the end of the game, like 10 minutes to go, and they bring on a few subs. Brought on Mahrez, I think that's Cole Palmer, and he's berating both of them for not putting the crosses in for him.
Yeah, he just wants. Of course, that's what he's there for.
He's got that Ronaldo sort of mentality, I think, of just out and out goals.
Don't matter if you're winning 5-0 and you got 9 men, he'll score 5 more if he wants.
Just wants more goals. It's fucking. But yeah. I'm sort of glad our game against him's been postponed.
Yeah.
Don't have to play him for a little while.
I'd like to have played him just to almost get out of the way and just, right, that's done, move on. But, yeah, Haaland's looking frightening once again. Grealish got his first goal after a bit of stick he got in a week as well. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. But apparently he had a better game as well. He had a much better game. No, he did
play well, yeah. He actually played a bit further back because they had, I can't remember the other one they started up there was Haaland. I think it was Haaland, Foland and maybe Bernardo.
Yeah.
And I think Grealish started in midfield with Rodri and De Bruyne.
Thing is, he's still Jack Grealish. Like, he's still a brilliant footballer. I just think at City, he's part of a bigger machine that
he's
just
a
slots
cog
in
a machine.
And if City win and Pep's happy, they're happy. They're not worried. Yeah. And that people outside of Man City and that look at Jack Grealish want to see, he needs to score goals and get assists and things like that. But if City are winning and they're winning 3-0 at the weekend away at Wolves, and he's part of that, they're not going to complain, are they?
No, it's like when he reminds me a bit when Bernardo Silva got a bit of stick a couple of years ago when he wasn't getting goal contributions, but he was still being a really good player.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until about maybe last year before, then he just exploded and he was getting 10 goals, 10 assists.
And if you rock up like Arsenal might play him next week or whenever you do, and you see their front four of Grealish, Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden, whoever it is, like, you'd still be frightened, wouldn't you? If you're right back and you're playing against Grealish, you're not going to be asked. I mean, he's rubbish at the minute. Like, he's not rubbish. He's just like we said, look at all these players. Yeah. Haaland scored 11 goals, so Jack Grealish can't score 11 as well. So yeah, it's just the way it is, and he's still a brilliant player. Yeah,
like I say, he obviously gets less of the ball than he did at Villa as well. At Villa, he was given the ball. Yeah. Go do your stuff. I mean, as a neutral, he's not as fun to watch anymore.
Yeah. But he's part.
Does he care about that?
Yeah,
he's got his Premier League trophy.
Yeah, they're going to win all sorts of competitions and games, so he's not going to worry. But quickly on Wolves, like we mentioned, Diego Costa, the Bruno Lage manager said that he's going to need a couple of weeks to get fit, and he's not quite ready for that level. So it'd be interesting to see because he scored, I think at Chelsea, his record 59 in 20, which is incredible.
Will he get more than 5 Premier League goals?
Diego Costa.
I'm going to say no.
I think more than 5. I think more. If he gets fit and then he's playing, I think he'll score more than 5 because he'll probably end up taking penalties and if he's playing all the time, they'll score more than 5 surely.
I don't know. What is he there to replace?
But that's we don't know.
I just think
the deal he might just be a good deal for Wolves in that they can get Diego Costa in on a relatively cheap deal and fill in where you can. Because I like him. I do like him as he's not a brilliant goal scorer and stuff, but I do. He's just one of those players I like as a footballer. But he's not going to score you more than 10, probably 10, 11 goals. And I don't know. Diego Costa's a strange one. I think he's quite exciting in that he's that bit of horrible character.
You know what he's about then.
Yeah, he's a bit dirty and stuff. But yeah, it's a random one, I suppose. But yeah, see if he gets fit and starts playing again.
Yeah, well, they've got the international break to get fit, and then we'll quickly touch on the Newcastle game before we go on to the highest scoring game of the week. Not really much to write home about here. Made a few notes. VAR gave the penalty for Isaac, which I thought was a correct call.
Yeah, so did I. Right.
Poor result for Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't think they were too brilliant. Eddie Howe come out was pretty frustrated with it, I think.
And you haven't won since the first game of the season.
Really? Yeah, they've drawn a lot.
5 consecutive. Oh, not sorry. 5. They've got 5 draws and 1 loss, and the loss was against Newcastle. And the other part, I've got Gary O'Neill, since becoming caretaker, in his 3 games, has drawn 2 and won 1.
Yeah, and I thought about Gary O'Neill as I thought about Bournemouth, but I think we mentioned it. I wouldn't say Parker would have got the same results, but I do think getting rid of Parker was far too early. It was far too
a bit
early.
hasty.
But also the 9-0 is a disgrace.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Gary O'Neill, he was the first team coach with Parker in charge. Like they haven't just brought in some random bloke who's got whole new ideas and brought in a load of new
100%.
players, Gary Neville would have been fully on board with Parker and fully behind him. So they can't be doing much different.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
Yeah.
But like they've played Wolves and Newcastle they drew against and they beat Forest. And like I said, would Parker probably got the results? Probably.
I mean, he could have. I reckon he could have won one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll be happy at that point. I think their goalie Neto played really well, so made some really good saves.
Another goal for Isaac. I know it's a penalty, but
first at St James as well. So.
Yeah, I think it's his third or second goal, something like that.
Yeah, but pretty non-eventful game.
Not really.
Yeah,
only 3 o'clock there was.
Yeah.
Moving on then to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yes.
So we watched this at the Prince of Wales in Great Tottenham. Where did you didn't go, did you? You had golf, didn't you?
No, we had golf. The less we talk about the golf, the better.
Yeah.
If anyone who's listening that was there at Saturday, that's it. That's all you get because it just wasn't a good day for myself.
Shambles.
Yeah. I think I'll just give up. The set of clubs I have will no longer be used. But yes, Tottenham played and Tottenham made it a much better day for myself.
Like, going into the game beforehand, I thought there's no way it's Leicester getting anything out of this. But surely the rot has to stop at some time.
And it would. I'd say because Tottenham is cynical, but it just
Using
would happen.
Josh, typical Yord.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll go on about him. But Danny Ward has been disgusting, and he'll just turn up and play
masterclass
like Casilla, just clean sheet, pull off worldly saves, all the rest of it. I thought that was going to happen, but
after 6 minutes, I thought, hang on, we could have a bit of a game here. I thought Leicester started the game really well.
They were good, and I think for large portions of the game, they were good. Up half time, 2-2, they were probably quite happy with that. They scored twice at Tottenham, and even to about the 60th minute. I know they conceded straight after half time, but they were right in the game.
So I think there's some real turning points in this game. Obviously, the first one I thought I couldn't stop laughing at the time when I was watching because I could think of you and your brother going fucking mad at
Big Dave.
Big Dave Sanchez. The first,
what a player!
It's a long ball from Leicester. He's then shinned the clearance. He's then gone to chase the player. So he's made one mistake.
Yeah.
His second mistake is chasing the player, diving in and missing him.
Gets nutmegged, yeah.
And then the third one is thinking, honestly, I'm not a very good footballer at all. I'm distinctly okay at Sunday League.
In all areas.
And I'm completely out. But I'm not stupid. Like, that tackle it looks to me like he's just like, right, I've been mugged off once, I've been mugged off twice, I need to do something.
Exactly.
And
what
he's just kicked him.
But that's how he plays. He plays like you watch, and I've said it before, but everyone goes on about him, and Conte's played him, Mourinho's played him, Pochettino even played him, and even Nuno gave him minutes. But there's obviously something we don't know, and whatever was in training behind the scenes. But if you're a centre half, if you're a defender, full stop, and you're constantly chasing the ball, chasing the other team, which Dave does, which is that goal is Dave Sanchez in a nutshell. That is him. He's always chasing his own tail. He's always sprinting back.
It's a catalogue of errors, isn't it?
You just can't be a Premier League centre half. Not even can't be a good professional. You just can't be in the Premier League. Like, he is disgusting.
I just couldn't believe it. I was just like the first one, and then the second, one, the third one. Definite penalty.
100%.
And don't know if you saw the little, when the penalty comes up and they have all his old penalties he's taken.
Yeah,
he scored his last 6,
all in that corner,
Mm-hmm. And he took it. It wasn't a great penalty the first one. Good save. I mean, that's what VAR's there for, I suppose. Like, but
it was, that's a bit.
It is, but he is. At least it wasn't silly off the line. You could see. You could see grass.
Yeah, I'm not because it's Tottenham, but.
Oh no, I'm saying.
Surely all penalties, like encroachment from the players and goalies and stuff like that, must happen all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. But at least I don't know. You could see grass. Yeah, that's the only.
But he still stuck the penalty the same way, didn't he?
The second one was a far better penalty.
Yeah, it was good.
Typical Leicester. They started well after 6 minutes, and then within 2 minutes, it's 1-1 again.
Yeah, they just got. I think defensively, they're just so open. They've just got nothing. They're right with the ball, and obviously all their players are concentrate and engage when they've got the ball, but when they lose it, they just their whole team just sort of disbands and just totally
like you mentioned earlier, buddy, Danny Ward. I mean, whether I don't know if people do better, but he just makes it look really bad.
Yeah,
I don't think Lloris does that. Like, just use an example. He doesn't try and save the shot like that.
Yeah. No, he might do.
But it's a well-worked goal, but I just
a
think
different technique or so. Yeah, Danny Ward at the minute. They've conceded 22 goals. Danny Ward has played. I'll talk about him in a moment, but he's played in all those games. The only win they've got this season was at Stockport in the League Cup, and Danny Ward didn't play. And they won 1-0.
And did you know, no team has ever conceded more than 22 goals. The 22 goals is the highest amount of goals the team has conceded after 7 games in the Premier League.
They must have got relegated. It was Derby when they
I don't know who the team was.
got about -4
I
points.
just saw it and I was like, wow.
Yeah. No,
And then
if they carry on, they're doomed.
2-1 was a Perisic corner taken with his right foot, because it's impressive he's taking them with both feet. Lovely corner, lovely header. Good header, good goal. I'm old school in my defending and things like that. Just I don't get why teams. Well, there's obviously a reason for it, but teams these days just don't have players on the post.
No.
We'll catch later on, but
especially Leicester.
Just go back to basics. Like, they're not saying he would have saved it, but he would have a better chance than.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well not have Danny Ward and put him on the post.
Yeah, you might as well just defend the post.
Because you
his
saw.
Hands are awful.
I think harshly, Spurs got a third goal disallowed. When Sanchez came charging in.
Yeah, the foul on the goalie from Sanchez. Yeah,
foul, inverted commas.
Yeah, but like we always say, because of the goalie, it's given straight
away.
But
it's like that, Danny Ward.
But again, that is poor goalkeeping. Like, why is he in that situation? Why is he stuck underneath Dave's left arm? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, poor. Very poor. But then Maddison, nice finish for the second goal.
I thought he played a really good first half. Lovely goal, wasn't it?
Very nice finish.
And I actually think 2-2 was a fair result at half time.
Yeah, and like I said, Leicester were probably happy with that. They were in the game, right? They conceded twice, but they'd also scored twice, and they were putting up a bit of a fight. But yeah, that second half it just all came apart.
Well, it was 47 minutes here when Ndidi was caught.
Yeah, robbed him.
Just you just pull your hair out. You're Brendan Rodgers. You just think, well done, boys. Got in at half time, 2-2.
Right,
just before
first.
Let's go again. And then you're one of your experienced, better players does that, and it just come on, man. You're pulling your hair out. Like, what can you do?
And at the highest level as well. That is so poor. Like, you can expect that on a Sunday, like centre fielder ain't looking over his shoulder, not sure what's going on around him. He's picked the ball up in an area. Alright, he seemed like there's no one around him, but he must know what's going on. He must anticipate someone's going to be breathing down his neck, and got robbed. It was a nice finish from Brenden as well. His first goal.
Lovely, and off the post. Took that with good confidence. And I got here a turning point. I thought in the game was he's one of the reasons. We'll talk about him later. He was one of the contenders for the team of the week. I think it was Maddison put the cross in, and there was a Patterson Daka, lovely header into the ground.
Good save.
And everyone in the pub was thinking 3-0, here we go, 3-0, and it's a cracking save. He's headed it down, and everything what a striker should do, head it down into the corner, and he's flicked it up. I think he might have gone out for a corner or flicked it up, and defender cleared it. But I think that was around the 60th minute, something like that. And 3-0, that would have probably been game on again. And then wasn't shortly after that, then Mr.
Heung-min Son,
my old mate,
the prodigal son returns.
As the title reads, Son Rodgers hung out to dry.
Yeah. No, Son came on 60th minute and played an absolute blinder, didn't he, for half hour? Yeah.
Well, are they his first 3 goals of the season?
Yeah, first 3 goals. I've got a little bit about him here, but yeah, obviously he scores a hat trick, 73rd, 84th, 86th minute, and 2 of them obviously brilliant finishes. But I'm glad he dropped him and he started on the bench. And we obviously know Son is a brilliant player. He's proven that he is class. Like, he is brilliant, and people might dislike him, whatever. Tate hates him, but he is a fantastic footballer. And he just hasn't. And sadly for him, his game is so much about goals and assists. And up until this point, he hasn't scored. I think he might have got a couple of assists, whatever. But those stats weren't showing. So people must have been looking at. And even Son himself probably looking at himself in the mirror every morning, like, what is going on? Why can't I do this? What's happening? Why am I doing things so differently? But yeah, he got dropped, come on, and yeah, he showed exactly what he's all about. So.
Yeah, but that's a sign of a team that's trying to improve their squad and as their mentality. Like, if you got, like, for example, we're talking about Grealish, he might not start every game, but he can come on and score a hat. He's got the ability to score a hat trick. Foden's got the ability to come on and score a hat trick, or Mahrez or Alvarez or whoever doesn't start all their games. If you're having good players, if you're having Son on your bench, it means. And that's a good thing. It sounds silly, but it could be a good thing because you've got someone playing with Richarlison who's been scoring goals.
Yeah. And I'm glad he's dropped him, but it's like you just said. But we've signed these players, Richarlison, and even Kulusevski from January and things like that. But they're bought to play. They're not just bought to every now and then Son or Kane can have a little 5-10 minute rest. But all right, play these players. You spent 60 million on him. You spent 40 million on Basuma and things like that. Just give it Son and Kane
They're to
maybe a
compete.
rest, and right, this is us now. Like, you have to be as good as you are all the time, otherwise you get dropped. And
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like, just keep saying it, it's good that he got dropped. Come on, and hopefully that's a bit of a kick up his arse, and he starts to perform again.
Who gets dropped in the North London derby? Because he starts, obviously. So does Kane.
Son, Kane. Richarlison would be.
I think
tasty.
Richarlison gets benched.
I think it'd be the Son, Kane, Kulusevski, but I'd love to see a front three of Kulusevski, Kane, and Richarlison. That would be tasty.
I'd rather see that.
Richarlison, because he'd cause problems. I'm not saying he'd win us the game and stuff, but he's just relentless, and he's such a little wind-up merchant. Him and Romero, get Romero in, make sure he's wrapped in cotton wool. I'm not sure. I think it's one of them, like a bit of a rest. Somehow we're good enough now to not play Romero. But yeah, he's absolutely off his head as well, because he come on at the weekend. It was offside because I think.
Yeah, missed that sitter, didn't he?
But why is he underneath the goalpost, like in about the 78th minute? Just sit at the back, just do your job. It
was a shocker.
The game's won. Just chill out, mate. But yeah, I'd like to see Richarlison, but I think the front three Arsenal will be Son, Kane, and Kulusevski.
Yes or no question: will Rodgers be the manager by the time the international break's over?
I've thought about this a little bit and heard lots of things and read some stuff. I think he will be. I think they'll stick by him. Possibly think could be wrong, but as in that's the wrong decision. But I think they might until, because their fixtures, I think we spoke about it as well. But
yeah, I've got
after the international break, their fixtures are favourable. I know they're bottom of the table at the minute. They're the worst team, but yeah, their fixtures are very.
Their next games are Forest, Bournemouth, Palace, Leeds, and Wolves.
Yeah.
But my view on it is, I think Remain. I don't think they're good. I think they should keep him. They're not going to get a better manager than him, really. But the issue we had at Arsenal was, when we had Emery, and I could not stand that Dracula, was we were at a similar stage in the season when we had an international break, and we all know that he had to be going. But it was probably one more loss away. Like, they lose to Forest, he's going.
Yeah.
But you've just wasted 2 weeks of time.
Yeah,
just for that moment. You could have got a manager in, like someone like Chelsea, for example. Now have Brendan Rodgers in now for 2 weeks, no games. Right, let's. Who did I say?
Rodgers.
Did I say Rodgers? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. They've got Potter in for 2 weeks now, and he can get some rhythm into them. Exactly. Put his ideas across for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If they then sack him if they lose to Forest, they've got all these games coming up. Quick.
Yeah.
And new manager.
And they look favourable now. But if you lost that game, then you're looking for a new manager. You're scrapping around. Those games are just like, you don't want to see any of them. You don't want to play any football. So, I think I've said yes. I think they'll stick by him. But I also could see that, or if and when they sack Rodgers and they get someone in, I think it will be maybe not Sean Dyche, but that sort of manager. Right, come in. We're just going to go back to basics.
Yeah.
4-4-2, 4-5. We're going to pack the midfield out. Vardy, you're going to be our main man.
Stick Vardy at the long ball of the top.
We're just going to rely on you. You're going to keep us in the Premier League, and then they'll start again. But I think they'll if that happens and they get to that point, I think they'll just, like I said, they'll go, right, let's just make sure we stay in the league. Vardy, you're going to be our main man. Tielemans, Maddison, and maybe a sitter in midfield.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, they'll sort out the back four. I think that'll just be tighten up and right. We're not conceding anymore. But if it gets to that point, but I think they'll stick by him. And like you said, that Forest game could be the moment.
Before we move on quickly, we're probably going to break. Just a quick word on James Maddison. I thought he had a really good game, especially first half. I think he's got a couple of goals, a couple of assists. Potentially a bit unlucky to miss out in the England squad this time around.
Possibly.
And Jeff Shreves made him fully aware. He'd missed out.
Slaughtered him.
Made him fully aware that he'd missed out in the England squad.
Yeah. That was poor, wasn't it? It was a shock, really. Like, almost. They the reporters, they try and push the buttons and stuff, but they never really. Like, Jeff Shreves basically just went, you conceded 6 today, and you also missed out in England this week. Bit of a tough week this week, wasn't it, Maddison? You just saw Maddison's heart sink, just like, what have you just asked me? How do I respond to that?
Well, he's got previous on that, hasn't he, old Shreves? Remember when he asked Ivanovic, he was like, you're not playing in the Champions League final. You're not playing.
He went for it. Maddison dealt with it quite well, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, that brings a close to the Saturday fixtures, and after a quick break, we'll be back to discuss the Sunday games.
Hello listeners, it's former England and Premier League player Matt Jarvis here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Remember to support the podcast by sharing with your friends and family and leaving that 5-star review. Now come on you Irons and stay loyal.
Thanks, Matt. We'll get on to West Ham in a bit, but first let's tackle the midday kick-off. Arsenal away at Brentford.
Yeah. Well, before we start talking about this, they named the Brentford Stadium over Sky the other day, or Sunday, sorry, and I've got no idea what it's called.
Is it not the community stadium? Though?
No, it's got a specific. I thought it was called the community stadium.
Maybe they got some sponsors.
It's some sponsorship. I was like, is that what it's called? I had literally no idea when they announced it on Sky. But no, very easy win for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I got down. Easy, comfortable game, wasn't it?
I don't know if any listeners knew. No. But Arsenal actually lost at Brentford last season. I don't know if Sky mentioned it.
I'm not sure yet.
They only mentioned it probably 100 times.
Even if it's
literally just a random throw-in. Arsenal lost it last year.
It's different now.
Just calm down, boy.
Yeah.
They had nothing else to talk about.
Yeah. But Gabriel tweeted, didn't he? Because Tony.
Yeah, Tony did it first game of the season. Then Lacazette tweeted it back.
Yeah, it's a bit of back and forth. But but last year it was Brentford's first game, wasn't it? And
it's all a bit of fun. You got to give it, you got to take it. Like it will come back. Arsenal will probably lose to Brentford later in the season, and then Tony will come back at it again. Like.
Yeah, it was. I thought like one of them. You sort of hope like Palace away when you had them, but as a opposing fan to Arsenal, you sort of hope that Brentford might put up a bit of a fight here. But 2-0 first half, and it was game set match really.
Yeah, well, we could have scored after about 50 seconds when we just played.
Yeah, Martinelli, what was
he
just sort of slipped, didn't he? Yeah, that's a weird one.
We just dominated the ball really, really well. I haven't seen us control the game like that. That's Arteta's dream performance. He's always said he wants to basically stranglehold the opposition to a death of 1,000 passes. Yeah. Just keep passing the ball, and that's like how City play.
Yeah,
and they just keep passing it until you literally. Yeah, you eventually find some space and you become a goal.
Someone's got to take their chance.
I mean, the opening goal was from a corner, which we have been very good at recently. Last probably 18 months.
Big Saliba, wasn't it?
Big Willie again. Lovely header, in off the post, and obviously the goal line technology gave it.
Yeah.
He was outstanding yesterday.
Good.
On Sunday, sorry, yeah. Not much defensively he had to do, but on the ball, playing
Brentford
out from the back.
Were poor, weren't they? They
played some lovely 1-2s, like with Thomas Partey. He just he looks a real player.
Yeah.
A real good player.
Yeah.
And it's just been called up again to the French squad. So,
Vieira scored your third goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we'll get on that. Obviously, Xhaka another assist for big man. But Granit was played really, really well.
He's doing alright, and he got booked though, didn't he? For a stupid.
Oh yeah, it's just typical.
That was like classic Xhaka. What was he? There's no need for it.
No, you're 3-0 up. Just
the commentator said it as well. But if you actually have a look, assess what's going on. Brentford had nothing going forward, and Jack has got all excited, like, I'm doing my team a favour here. Like, no, you just got.
It's just typical him, though. Like he can't help it. But I'd rather him get booked up there than get booked in his own box like he used to.
Yeah, I suppose he's a free kick, not a penalty.
He's really improving, because he's playing further away from his own goal. Personally, that's why he's always been a good passer. The assist he got, he's done that a fair few times to us before, but he's getting more of that because he's
and you've got more of the ball, haven't you?
Yeah, he's not on his own penalty area trying to make mistakes. Like if he loses it, he's got like 4 or 5 players behind him.
That's why you've got Partey in there. He's a bit deeper. He gets the ball off the centre halves and plays. Because
he's playing the best football I've seen him play previously since we about a year and a half after we signed him, we switched to a 3-5-2. You know that your formation where he had 3 centre halves behind him.
Yeah.
Where if you made an error, you had midfield with the partner, and you had 3 other centre halves.
Yeah.
Whereas before he was playing as a 2, and it was like, if I lose the ball here, we are. And then you were, if you lost the ball, you were running at Mustafi, Socrates, or David Luiz. You're now running at Saliba, Ben White, or Gabriel. They're better players.
Yeah, true.
But he played well. And then, like you said, Vieira finished it off with
a nice goal, innit?
A lovely goal. A few takeaways. Obviously, I saw Jesus scored again. It's his 4th goal in 7 games. He also got booked, which is his 4th yellow.
Really? Already?
Yeah.
He's had 4 yellows.
And
for what? Like fouls? I didn't notice.
Fouls.
Yeah.
Because he presses so much, and he's
always
a typical striker challenges sometimes.
That's not good.
But you get 5 yellows in your first 19 Premier League games, and you get suspension.
Bloody hell.
So
that's definitely on the cards then.
99% sure he's going to get booked against Spurs.
Yeah.
And then our next game's Liverpool away.
Joy.
Oh,
Bring
well.
Lacquer back.
Bring Eddie on.
Eddie, should we talk about Eddie?
Eddie was our first sub. I got a few notes on Eddie.
Eddie.
Got some stats. Well, as it's well documented, my Eddie versus United counter this season. So it depends how you look at things. Eddie has played 7 games in the Premier League, no goals. Them 7 games equate to 88 minutes.
That's a big. What's the word?
Differential.
Gives you some
context.
Yeah, context. That's the word I'm looking for.
So he hasn't yet played 90 minutes in the Premier League, but he's played 7 games.
Because exactly. If people look at that and go, Curtis scored 0, but he played 7 times. Well, like you just said, he's played less than a game.
So to compare that to Marcus Rashford, who's Man United's leading goal scorer.
Yeah, school dinners.
Joint leading goal scorer with Sancho. So Rashford's got 3 goals in 6 games, which is a good record. But he's played 523 minutes.
Yeah.
Compare that to 88. That's 5 times the amount of minutes he's played. But he's played less games.
Yeah. No, you can't argue that.
Sancho 6 games. Well, he's actually played overall. He's played 8 games, 3 goals because obviously I'm counting Europa League here.
Yeah.
And he's played 531 minutes. Which again is a good return, but he's played so many more minutes than poor old Eddie. But then Eddie's played 1 start, 78 minutes in Europa League, and 1 goal.
1 goal, yeah.
So he's.
Yeah. But then also you don't.
He's 2 goals off them, having played 400 minutes less.
Yeah. But for you as well, you've said that about Nketiah and United and stuff, but you don't think, you're not saying, Nketiah should start, he's brilliant, but...
No, but his goals will come.
Yeah,
they'll come.
You just got the stats and the figures.
But it's just interesting, the fact that he's played more games than both of them.
Yeah.
But has he?
Yeah, probably played... he's played barely 1 game in the Premier League. So.
He's played 1 game in Europa, which equates to basically the same amount of minutes he's played in 7 in the Premier League.
Exactly.
But he looks sharp when he comes on. Don't get me wrong, I could be completely wrong, but I've got a feeling that he will score some more goals. But going on to subs, as it's obviously well documented, a new Premier League record this
past weekend or?
Well, no, Ethan Nwaneri.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on to him actually. Yeah.
15 years old.
Yeah.
And 181 days.
Youngest ever.
Beating Harvey Elliott's previous record of 16 years and 30 days.
That is incredible.
Which is absolutely mad.
It is pretty cool.
And another stat, he would have been Arsenal's youngest ever player. And how do I word this? If he had made his debut between now and the 30th of September 2023, so a year, this time 1 year, he would still be Arsenal's youngest ever player.
Who was it? Wilshere?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
This is random, but I didn't think they were allowed to play when they were 15.
I didn't they were, because
they had to be 16 just purely on the adult sort of football.
That's the reason I thought as well, because we found out what you read in the articles. I mean, it's obviously completely different, but when I played for Hatfield Pebble Men's, as a 15-year-old, I was allowed to train, but I wasn't allowed in the dressing room, because obviously child protection things and things like that. I could train and I could play in friendlies and that, but obviously when everyone showers and shit, you're not allowed in there. You're not allowed in there, because obviously it's...
I'm not you shouldn't play him, but...
They said...
Yeah, I just assumed I thought it was a rule.
Nwaneri had to get changed in a separate changing room.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He wasn't allowed in the Arsenal dressing room until Arteta called him in and everyone was fully changed and ready for the team talks.
Unreal, yeah.
And at full time he wasn't allowed in either.
That explains it. Obviously he is allowed to play, but
I didn't think he was. I didn't think 15 was.
No, I just assumed that you had to be 16. Like the youngest was 16, but obviously not. But then there's obviously other things in place. But
because I thought that was the reason why all the records are 16. Yeah, because you had to be 16.
Yeah. No, it's incredible, isn't it? I'll talk about him a bit later on, but...
The difference between 15 years old, 15 and 181 days to Harvey Elliott's of 16 and 30 days, it's a lot. It's like half a year.
Yeah. That's mad, isn't it? 15.
Which is... we'll touch on it a bit later on, but he's... Arsenal fans might know this, but he's part of a documentary on YouTube, which is quite good actually.
I've seen that on YouTube.
I think it's called
Hale End.
Hale End. Yeah, I watched like 4 or 5 episodes in it, but he's in it.
Oh, is he? When's it? It's from what, last season or?
Last season, yeah. And a stat on, a fact, should I say? When COVID-19 started, 1 year he was 12.
Yeah, he's 12. That's the madness. He's 12 years old, and basically, for me, COVID's seemed like it was yesterday. So this bloke's 12, and now he's on the bench in the Prem. It's mental, absolutely mental.
He's 13 years younger than me. Which is
what is he? A midfielder, forward, or
midfielder? Yeah, English midfielder.
What do you play? What on the wing for the youth teams? I suppose, or semi-midfield.
I've only heard about this bloke the last maybe 6 days.
Yeah. When did he come on at the weekend? Just lobbed him on.
He came on for Saka, I think. Just
Saka, the wing, yeah.
Which I think he's 5 years younger than Saka.
Yeah, and Saka's still incredibly young,
which is mad. So he played up in the under-18s apparently, and he played once for the under-23s. I think at Spurs last week, got an assist, and they were impressed with him, so he got put in the team.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's obviously ridiculously young, and so much could happen between now and probably to his 18. But yes, it's mental. He's doing exactly what 99% of boys want to do in their whole life. So
what do you reckon he's doing today when he struts into school this morning?
Yeah, he's not doing any work, is he? Imagine, like you said, he was 12 years old, what seemed like yesterday, and now he's 15. Just
if a teacher tells you to take a shirt, and I just go,
yeah, just
I just see in front of him.
I just have my match day top and just whack it on my chair and walk out. It's class. It is class.
And just one final word on Arsenal before we move on to the next game. In the last 3 seasons, it's taken Arsenal are now currently top on 18 points. The last 3 seasons, it's taken them 13, 16, and 11 games to reach that landmark, and this season's done it in 7. I mean, I'll openly have my hands up and say this is the first time in probably them 3-4 years that we've had a nice run of fixtures. I know everyone plays each other at the same time, but we normally play Chelsea or a Man City or a Liverpool, always Liverpool first 3 games, and we normally start off quite slow.
But then you got that after the break, haven't you? You got Spurs and Liverpool. So.
Yeah, but we normally have them games 3-4.
Yeah,
but it's you can only play in front of you, and to get 18 points out of possible 21.
Yeah, it's good.
Is a pretty good start. Moving on to 2 teams who haven't started the season particularly well: Everton and West Ham.
Fat Frank versus the Irons.
Yeah, and we had. What was your prediction?
I had 2-1 Everton. I said 2-1.
And I backed the Hammers because I thought you're not going to get any support in the bunker under the Hammers. So I thought,
but
I better back them.
I was correct. Finished 1-0 Everton. That's why we got Peronis tonight. So
I'm drinking them.
Yeah, it was.
Although no one turned up a bottle opener, so
yeah, we've
we did a body shop.
We've improvised and we've got them open. So
with a spoon.
All that matters. But yeah, Everton 1-0. They're, like we said, Everton are very poor side. Very poor side, and I think probably quite similar to Wolves, that they're not going to score a load of goals, and a lot of the games will be 0-0, 1-0s and things like that. But yeah, Morpay got the winner, didn't he? A very nice finish.
Yeah, it was a lovely goal. So Iwobi picked it up at inside left, driving in, and he fizzed it into Morpay. Well, I don't want to. Do you know if I give him the credit if he meant that touch? Because he's literally brought it up, bounced it in, span, and then half volleyed it into the corner. I think that's a great goal. That.
Yeah, he's got a good record against West Ham. So he was obviously at Brighton. Brighton never got beat. Yeah, they played. I think Morpay's played 5 times, won twice, and drawn 3 and scored 3 goals, and obviously added to that tally at the weekend. So yeah, he's good record against West Ham. But I would say, I mean, yes. On first look, they lose 1-0. I'm obviously happy. Yes, West Ham lost. They are awful at the minute. But I would say in that game, similar to the Forest game when they played away, they had a few chances. I don't know how they almost didn't score. They had Benrahma come off the inside of the post.
Yeah, I saw that.
They had a few sort of set piece corners where headers sort of flashed across the goal, could have easily bounced in. Bowen shot, got blocked, and it was destined for the bottom corner.
Or Cody, one of the two.
They weren't.
Cornet had a fair few chances.
Cornet looked alright as well, didn't he? He looked bright, which is annoying, I suppose. But yeah, West Ham are frustrating. They're probably, as a West Ham fan, it's probably very frustrating to watch. But I think they've scored 3 times and conceded 6 or 7. So they're not conceding loads. They're obviously not. Their end product at the minute is the problem. But yeah, I just don't know. They're not playing well. You can see that, but. It's they're not scoring, they're not playing well, but they're they're almost not happy with it. But I don't know, Moyes is not really doing a lot about it, not changing things, and
they seem to
very a stagnant.
Looking
team.
at their team, it's a bit like we described it earlier in the couple of podcasts ago with Man United. Like they look like they're just playing the same team they played last year.
Yeah.
Cornet comes on every time and plays well. Bowen is probably their best attacker, but he started the season really poorly.
Yeah.
Maybe do like what Spurs did and drop him for Son.
Yeah.
Drop him for a game.
Start someone else.
Start Cornet.
Change it.
Is it Paqueta? He looks like he's playing quite well.
Paqueta's a good player, but
they need to give. If they paid £35 million for Scamacca, they need to play him. He needs to start games. He needs to be getting 75, 80 minutes.
He came on, didn't he? Got like what, 20 if that?
Yeah,
15.
He doesn't
it's
not
not
touch
enough,
the ball, does he? Like
a striker, that's not good enough.
Scoring a midweek as well against whoever they played. Viking
simple,
FC.
Rubbish. Yeah, good goal, but just irrelevant.
It was a good goal.
Just absolutely irrelevant.
Start him. Play Cornet off the right, and then Paqueta from
and then as well the way West Ham play, that Paqueta's come in. He's obviously a big player for them and like a very good player, but he didn't play at Lyon, and they didn't just sit back behind the ball and defend for 90 minutes. Like they probably had like majority of the possession each game. He was a focal point for them, and was a large instrumental player in their performances. And he's come to West Ham, and they just sit off and wait for the odd chance, and that probably isn't the way he wants to play.
Like at least with that Paqueta, they've apart from the Spurs game, he's started every single game. Started him against Chelsea, started him against Everton just then. I think he played half an hour against Spurs.
Yeah.
With this Scamacca, maybe he's been injured.
Yeah.
But they've just really eased him. They need to move on from Antonio. Like he's good, but if you're never going to improve, like everyone knows what he can do.
Yeah.
He's a good Premier League player, but Scamacca is meant to be the person going to bring you to the next level.
Yeah. And he's there to score goals, and like I said, hasn't been given the opportunity. But yeah, like I said, Everton just look poor. They're not going to score many goals. Morpay's he's just not a good striker. He works hard.
He's a bottom.
He's just not scoring goals. They obviously missed DCL, and I'm not saying he's going to score 20 goals, but he's more of a threat. And if you're playing Everton, they've got Calvert-Lewin up front. You're going to be more concerned about him than Morpay. But Morpay scored at the weekend against West Ham, so tells you what state West Ham are in, I suppose.
Yeah. Who finishes higher?
Well, have those two?
Yeah.
I'll back the Toffees. I think, the Toffees. I think, to be honest, West Ham, they had their moment last year. They had their little spell. Got to the semi-finals of a second-tier European competition. Got knocked out. Finished 7th, didn't they, I think, in the end?
Yeah.
So, and they consider themselves massive. And now where are they, Tate? I can't remember.
Not 20th, not 19th. They're the 18th. Yeah.
18th on 4 points. Your record signing, Paqueta's not offered a lot. Scamacca's not scored yet, so it's not looking good, bruv.
I don't know who they've got next, but I think they'll turn it. I think they did have I'll be devil's advocate here.
No, they have
had a reasonably hard start to the season. They played City, Chelsea, Spurs.
Yeah.
Everton.
Everton away. Forest away. They lost.
Yeah, and there's another top team. Have they played Liverpool? Did they play Liverpool yet?
City, didn't even mention
City.
City.
Yeah.
Well, no. After the break, they got Wolves at home, haven't they? The first game. So,
is it Wolves at home?
Yeah, and they're fixed similar to sort of Leicester. They've got a run of fixtures where they'd like to think they can pick up some points, and that's the thing. If they win, say they've got the next 6 games, they win 3 maybe. They change their whole outlook on it. So
yeah. Well, the only other thing for West Ham, because they're one of the teams in Europe. Obviously, when we go back October, all the teams in Europe play 9 games.
Really?
9 games in 1 month.
Bloody hell.
That's
going to majorly.
I actually think West Ham played 10.
Yeah, and I thought that with the Everton game. I just thought they played for. Yes, it was against Dog and Duck from Denmark, but I just thought that Thursday Sunday thing, and it just doesn't suit anyone. It doesn't. No matter what you try, what you do. I'm sure managers and teams have tried everything over the years, but it just isn't good for your side. And yeah.
Well, it's even the same as I know it's obviously Wednesday, Saturday, but even Spurs against Leicester have got 3 less days to prepare to that game than or 2 less game days than Leicester have.
Yeah.
Because you've actually had to go, and it could have been even different because obviously West Ham could make 11 changes. I don't know how many changes they made, but they can make 11 changes to Viking FC wherever they play.
Well, I know Antonio barely played against him. Might not have played at all.
Scamacca started. No, Lanzini played. But Spurs have to play their full team against the Champions League teams. So it's you might play that. You're still the same amount of games, but it is also you play more games and it's less time to recover. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't play as a player, you're still travelling to Denmark and warming up and going back and away from your family and back late and then back again early, and it's just
it's not good. It's not good. And like I said, after the break, international break, they got a few favourable fixtures and they should pick up some points.
Yeah, I think that brings a nice close to the weekend games, and after the quick break, we'll be back with the team of the week, winner losers, and some international chats. Here we are, guys. Time for team of the week, and as we only had 7 games to choose from, 2 quite non-eventful, the team is very Spurs dominated.
Yeah, it is.
But it does sort of pick itself, to be honest. Yeah. Start off in goal. So we had 2 people we were thinking about here, Neto and Lloris.
Lloris, yeah.
I said I think we go for Lloris personally. Mm-hmm. I know the penalty save doesn't count, but he also was involved, and I say that the game, in quote unquote, game-winning moment when he made the good save. That was the turning point of the game, and played well throughout. Really, I thought.
Yeah, I only mentioned Neto because of the highlights, but I watched the Spurs game and saw more of that, and Lloris made some good saves. So team of the week, slot him in there. Yeah, definitely.
So our first centre back that went in was my mate Big Willie. Big Willie Saliba. Thought he played very well again.
Clean sheet.
And just some of his passing was just ridiculous. And for a 21-year-old, is looking really, really good. And hopefully he continues his good form. On to the other defender was a vote between Connor Cody and Eric Dyer. Put it out to you fans. And Dyer won by a landslide.
Yeah, he was good when he, similar to Saliba, obviously no clean sheet, but got the goal from a corner. He had a good week, I think.
He's topped off a good week for
back into the England squad. So, I think it was a good decision from those that voted. So, thank you.
And he seems to be the one for Spurs. No, he's the only defender that doesn't seem to get rotated out.
Yeah, he just sits because of the formation and what Conte wants. He just sits in that middle and he's always there, sort of thing. It's Dyer and 2 others basically. So, he's played a lot of football recently and. Yeah, I think he deserves it. And
then on to our attackers, we've gone with the one that was probably the first name on the team sheet, Son Heung-min.
Trick hero.
Yeah, I'm not going to do his celebration. He's a bit sick. No, you can't knock him. 3 good goals, 2 especially very good ones, and for only playing 40 minutes or whatever, he played half an hour.
Football was very good.
Hat trick. Yeah, you obviously score a hat trick, you're going to get in the team.
No questions. But
and then we're leading the line. We went for Gray from Everton,
and we had Kevin De Bruyne as well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot about him. Yeah.
Next to Son or Gray, whoever you want to play that sort of 2 in the middle. But KDB, Son, and Demarai Gray. Gray was pretty good against West Ham. He didn't score. I think he might have passed the ball to Morpay, but not really an assist. But he just had a good game. Was sort of threatening all the time.
His dribbling, I thought, was especially very good when he was getting out tight areas, and he just he's their most. Him and Gordon are their 2 spearheads who would.
But that's what they missed. They missed that striker, I think, massively. Yeah, I keep saying, but Gray was good, dangerous player at the weekend. Yeah,
and obviously touching De Bruyne. What else can you say about him?
2 assists,
2 assists, 92 assists total.
Yeah,
bloke's just a joke. He probably didn't even have a very good game, in his standard, but just
good enough to get an
just a week. An absolute joke.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, just to recap that: Lloris, Saliba, Eric Dyer, Kevin De Bruyne, Son, and Demarai Gray.
Yeah.
If you think we've missed anyone out, then please do let us know.
Yep. I think we've got it quite good.
Yeah, I think there was.
Can't really argue with that.
There's some notes for Maddison played okay.
Yeah.
Just looking back here, maybe you could argue Vieira debut goal, but I don't think he played better than.
I think Jesus had a good game.
He did, but then I just think Son hat-trick and Gray. Yeah, they just played. We played against Brentford. I think West Ham are a tougher opposition, and Gray. Yeah, I don't know, but
What about winner or loser this week?
Winner. So I've gone for sort of 1.5. I saw my sort of side note, I've gone for Gary O'Neill on a side note.
Oh really?
Just got no, because he's actually been really impressed. Like you said, he's probably done exactly the same what Scott Parker would have done, but to play 3 games undefeated, Bournemouth to go 3 games undefeated in the Premier League is just a good achievement anyway.
That's true.
I just think he's done really. But my main winner, I think for me, is only one, and it's Ethan Nwaneri.
I've gone for. I didn't know how to pronounce his surname. I'm glad you can, but I've gone for him as well. Winner. Like I said, he's living my dream, probably your dream. I mean, your dream more than anyone. But to play for your boyhood club, that's incredible. And to be the youngest ever, I said the same thing. 15 years old, it's incredible. Yes, and he might not never play for Arsenal again, but he can never take that away from him. So.
Yeah, no, I did do some homework on how to pronounce the name because it's a silent N. I think he must be from African heritage, but he's an English. He's played for England youth levels, so silent N. Nwaneri. That was pretty cool. 15 years old, 181 days. What the hell was I doing at 15? I've been like a little punk at school, trying to chase after girls.
I was
just still doing now.
Basically.
Bloody hell! Like what 15 and 181 days. Like my God, I was
sprinting home off the bus.
Yeah.
Slapping on the PlayStation. Yeah. And either getting in a COD lobby or sweating out
to someone online. You Gaylord.
Or sweating out on Ultimate Team. So yeah, the bloke's doing a lot better than I was. I think at 15. But yeah, it's just cool. And you see loads of obviously not at 15, but you see loads of players at a young age playing in the Prem and whatnot. But I'm sure everyone will keep a close eye on this fella's career. We'll see where he goes.
Yeah, and I just touched on that. I think obviously he was only in the squad because we've had a few injuries: Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Zinchenko, etc. But I think Arteta deliberately picked him.
Yeah, I think he said he knew that he was like, I've got to play him, but he said something that along those lines, didn't he, after the game about him?
Arsenal especially, they used to be quite PR. What's the word? PR blunt. Is that even a term? But last couple of years, they've really obviously people are well known now. Arsenal are recruiting youngest manager in the Premier League, youngest CAO, some of the youngest owners. They're going down that objective. Look, this is the place to come if you want to be a young player, you want to get given opportunities, and to absolutely annihilate the record from 16 years to 30 days. They've absolutely that's from Arsenal. Can always pin that on their board and. Not the reason why. Is obviously he played because he's good at football.
Yeah. But even that little
it also comes out the same week the documentary gets landed and he's in it. It's a lovely PR story that Arsenal can just pin up. Yeah.
But even who's the other? There was another kid on the bench.
There was two.
Was it? He was like 17.
Numbered 17. It was like number 96, I think.
Yeah.
No idea what his name was. I couldn't tell you.
It's cool. It's very cool.
So that was my winner. Yours was the same, was it as well?
Yeah, I went for that Ethan Fellowes. Pretty. So very impressed. Loser of the week. I think we might have a similar one.
I've gone for two.
And they say mine.
And they do two very similar things.
I'll say mine. My loser of the week is Danny Ward from Leicester.
Oh no!
Oh really? It's separate.
No, mine's completely different.
I'll explain. Well, I think it's pretty easy.
Get the stats out on Ward.
So Danny Ward has started this season. They've sold Schmeichel. Rodgers before the season, I doubt he said it again, but before the season said, we've got 2 number ones, it's so hard to pick, blah, blah. They sold their number one Schmeichel, put Danny Ward in goal, conceded 22 goals in 7 games.
That went well.
22 goals in 7 games, just disgusting. And what they lost, I think they lost 5-2 the week before. I think it was
Brighton won it 4.
No, it's 5. Yeah,
it was 5 in the end.
Yeah, at Brighton it's 5, and then obviously they got beat 6-0. So yeah, Danny Ward losing
4 at Arsenal as well.
Yeah, he's having a stinker. And yes, your team in front of you as goalkeepers, you can rely on them, but in some cases like this one, you can just tell Danny Ward is not good enough.
No, he's looks. Awful. And do you know who they signed him from?
Cardiff,
Liverpool. For I think he had never played a Premier League game.
Yeah, he was.
I think they signed him for £15 million a couple of years. Did you remember when Liverpool were like selling Ryan Brewster for like 21 mil?
I'll have a look now. Yeah,
he'd played. I think he'd played more games for Wales than he had for Liverpool at the time. And they signed him, but it was someone silly like 15 mil. That's why, like I said, when Liverpool was selling all these awful players for ridiculous amounts of money.
I don't know where I got Cardiff from. He's never played for Cardiff.
He's Welsh, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Welsh.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another example. Dominic Solanke as well. Yeah. Just another like £20 million player for what? What are you basing this on?
Just because he was at a big club.
And he's been at Leicester since like, I want to say 2018.
Yeah, bang on. And he's played. I think since 2018 he's played 8 times. So this year he's played
one.
7,
He's played one Premier League game.
So that's previous.
Don't tell me how I know that, but I just
he does. If I'm looking, I mean, Wikipedia is a bit rogue. It might not be exact, but so yeah, he's 29 years old. He started at Wrexham, and I know he's made 100 appearances at club level, and even for Wales he's played just under 30 times. So since 2016. So I don't know how he's getting away with it. I just don't know how he's getting away with it.
Does he see how much he was signed for?
When he moved to
Leicester, yeah.
1 sec.
Because I think he was like apparently had a really good reputation in Liverpool. Not that he ever played, because I think it was even behind like
12 and a half.
Yeah, I knew it was
4-year contract.
A good amount for somebody who'd never played a game of Premier League football before.
Yeah, bizarre. So yeah, Danny Moore for me, shocking.
So on to my losers. I've gone for 2, and I'm going to apologise right now because I'm going to butcher both of their names. Soho Nakajima.
Where have you got that from?
He's a player. He made his debut for Atlantaspor.
Oh, I saw this.
And,
go on.
He might think he's Japanese.
Yeah, go on.
And the TV showed him coming on, all his friends and family and everything. And he was on the pitch for 20 seconds and Simon got sent off for a straight red for a tackle.
I saw that. He got yellow and then they went to VAR.
Yeah, ref sent him off.
And the camera pans back to his like mum and siblings, I think, and they're just absolutely in shock.
Bits.
They just can't believe it.
And then my second loser of the week, to even beat that, was on Sunday, I think it was, maybe yesterday, was Nice player Jean-Claude Tobedoudou. Was sent off after 9 seconds versus Angers.
Oh my!
For a last man tackle, 9 seconds.
What's the whole team doing? What is everyone doing?
I watched it back. It's never ever a red. Like it's.
Is it last man?
Yeah,
like, go on.
There is a defender there, but you cannot send a player off the 9 seconds. I watched it back and I was like,
that is terrible.
How has fucking Shohu Nakajima been beaten 20 seconds?
And why did his whole family come over from Japan to watch him? Like, he's obviously rubbish.
9 seconds!
So it's good.
9 seconds red
I
card.
think they win. Your loser of the week win.
And that goes without saying. He's obviously the quickest player of all time in the Uber Eats League.
Uber Eats. That was first half as well, wasn't it? 9 seconds.
Yeah. The quickest ever player to be sent off.
That is mental.
And I've got in brackets here. Lucky last man, very harsh.
Very harsh. Poor referee.
It was never.
So they didn't go to VAR, no. Just.
Well, they have VAR there, but I assume they just up the ref's call because
it wasn't clear and obvious.
I'm not sending him off. You can't send someone off the 9 seconds.
That's mental. But some players don't even like put in any effort into the warm up. Like, he might have just rocked up, lobbed his boots on, slipped his pads in.
He probably gets an appearance bonus as well, doesn't he?
Red card, 9 seconds. Surely not. 9 seconds. That doesn't count.
Obviously, Nice have. I think Ramsey was on the bench. Maybe he was injured. Ross Barkley started. Nicola Pepe played.
They've got Joe. Is it Joe Bryan?
No, he plays for.
Was he?
Oh yeah, he plays there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the Spurs one.
No, there's Brian from. That was at Fulham.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a weird old setup. Obviously, the centre half ain't good.
But yeah, my 2 losers were Nakajima and Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude.
Yeah, I think that brings a nice end to that segment. We might as well have a quick break, and we'll be back with a little bit of international talk.
All I want is a piece of shit motor to get me from A to B.
Well, come down to Tells Bangers, where we sell all type of shit heat motors at affordable prices. Oh, guess what? We've got everything. Fake number plates? What's wrong with that? Built-in ashtrays? What's wrong with that? No seat belts? What is wrong with that? Why not listen to some feedback from our amazing customers?
From where I'm from, I'll have to steal a car, but with Tells Bangers, it's stolen for you. I had no cash on me, but at Tells Bangers, they take any sort of payment,
And I mean any. So, next time you're down East Ham, pop down and check out our amazing collection of piss poor cards at Tales Bangers.
Right, some international football talk. So the Premier League is away for a couple of weeks until we return on the 1st of October for the North London derby. That we will have a North London special podcast. Don't you worry about that. But let's talk England. Upcoming international break. England have Italy on Friday the 23rd and Germany on the 26th on Monday. These are the last games England will play before the World Cup opener against Iran on November the 21st.
That's quite big, actually. I didn't realise that's going to come around quick.
It's going to come. It's going to be very weird watching a World Cup in a coat inside a pub instead of outside in a pub garden.
Yes. In the winter.
Obviously, everyone has their own opinion on Gareth Southgate and his squad, and we'll get into that. But just a note, so through the last God knows how many years, FIFA have always allowed a 23-man squad. But this year, because of the 5 sub rule and maybe because of COVID and that, this squad has been increased to 26 players. So obviously 3 more players can get picked.
Three more defenders for Southgate then.
3 more right backs.
Yeah. Can we find any more?
But for the upcoming friendlies, Southgate has picked a 28-man squad. Starting with the goalkeepers. Obviously, Pickford's injured, so he's England's number 1. He's starting first game regardless, unless obviously injury. Picked Henderson, Pope, and Ramsdale. It looks like Henderson's been the third choice come in as
you can't really argue that. There's, like you said about Pickford, so Pickford might have been in there, and Henderson or Pope would probably drop out, I'd say.
If I was Southgate, I wouldn't even pick Pickford. Like, there's no point. We know he's going to be number 1.
Yeah,
like, you know, he might as well give someone else a chance.
Yeah.
Like,
it's strange because we, like goalkeepers, traditionally English goalkeepers are quite good, and we do that 4 you just said they're quite decent. Like you might have different feelings about each one, but they're relatively quite good goalies in their own right. So,
and ironically,
quite
you think
lucky.
I'd say probably the 2 keepers have had the better 2 seasons so far. The 2 that we're sort of writing off. Maybe Henderson and Pope.
And,
I don't think Ramsdale's had a particularly great start to the season.
And Henderson in a poorer team as well. And even Nick Pope, Newcastle aren't the best. Like they've seemed to do well, but I think Southgate's has got his side and certain players that we know, and Pickford's definitely one of them.
Yeah. I think Ramsdale will get 1 game, and I think Nick Pope probably get the other game.
Yeah.
Maybe Henderson comes on at half time for one of the 2.
Yeah.
But I think they're his keepers. Defenders, he's gone for Trent, Chilwell, Cody, Dyer, return for Dyer, Mark Gay, Reece James, Maguire,
Tomori as well.
Maguire, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Tomori, Trippier, and Carl Walker. So my view or standouts are, thank God Tyrone Mings has been dropped finally.
Yeah, agreed.
He was only getting in because he had a left foot.
Yeah. I'm glad Dyer's back as his first.
Deservedly so, though, I think.
Yeah. Last call up was November 2020, and he was like a big part of the 2018 World Cup where we got to the semis, and he was just and the Euros before that, and he's just and now he's taken a long time, but he's sort of established himself at Tottenham, and he's not a world class centre half, he's not a world beater, but he's just a solid centre half, and with the correct players around him, I think he can be a very good part of a good side. Quite glad he's back, really.
I think his selection probably leans towards Southgate going 3 at the back.
Yeah, I think that's his. He wants. That's how he
wants.
Which
I really dislike that formation, but that's a story. That's a story for another pod.
Yeah.
Probably the same reason he's picked Conor Cody, even though Conor Cody's been playing in a 2 at.
I think Cody
is lucky to get in.
Yeah, I think he's picked for other reasons.
For morale.
He obviously as that classic. He's experienced, older head, and he's quite good. I suppose a lot of the players say he's very good in the dressing room and things like that. So I think he's picked. He won't play in the World Cup. He won't play. He might get half a game in the next 2 fixtures, but he would play in that central position where Dyer plays and where Maguire plays.
Yeah, that's like you said. He's there for off-field reasons. If anyone wants to sit down and discuss that he's a better player than Ben White, then please come.
That's one of the notes I've got. But in that first group of players out of the defenders, Ben White's not been picked, and to be honest, I don't know why. How's he not been picked?
probably because he's played 7 games at right back
Yeah.
for Arsenal, and he hasn't been playing at centre back. Which I get it, but it's also a bit unfair because he's playing there because he's doing a job. Like he's helping the team out, and he's played very well there.
Yeah.
And Southgate has played him at right back probably more times he played him at centre back anyway.
Yeah.
I just think if you're picking players on form and picking players on ability, on form he goes over Maguire, and ability he goes over Cody. I mean, I'd argue even Mark Gay he's better than. I don't watch Tomori.
No.
I know he plays for AC Milan.
I've not seen Tomori, but then a lot of reports saying like Fernand's come out and said that he would start him, Stones, and I think Walker, 3 centre halves. So I don't know. There's a lot of positive things about Tomori. He's playing for a very, very big Italian side, a very good Italian side that won the league last year. So I don't know.
Yeah, out of that group, I do think the 2 Man United lads can count themselves very lucky. Is Maguire and Shaw, who have been picked on previous. That's why they've been picked.
Yeah, and
they've been shocking this season.
Everyone goes on about the form and the do you pick on form or who you like and stuff. I think you have to do a mix. To be honest, I think you have to do a mix. And Southgate has had these players for example, Maguire, and he likes the way he plays for England and what he does for him. And I don't think you can argue that. I don't like. It's a hard one. It's hard. It's always the argument. Like, do you pick on form? Do you pick on this and that? And I am almost with the side of like you pick who your best players are. So if it comes around to the World Cup and Harry Kane's having a stinker, but Tony scored 12 goals in 10 games or something, and Kane scored none, you still pick Harry Kane.
Yeah,
you still pick Harry Kane all day, every day of the week. And for example, I'd say the only little areas that it might differ is in certain positions where nothing is
the quality isn't there.
Yeah, it's not set in stone. For example, left back, like Chilwell, I think Chilwell's a very good player, but if he's not really playing, Shaw's not really playing, and this is probably a Tottenham fan, but for example, if Sessegnon's playing a string of games and is playing really well, he's part of the under-21 squad, he's young, but he almost would have a chance, I think, and maybe not playing, but being in that squad if the players around him aren't really doing much, and that happens in other areas as well, I think. But
no, 100%. Because one of the questions also was left back, because I think he played Trippier there.
Yeah,
he loves Trippier.
That's
but
an
he's
area.
Been playing well though for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Well.
Yeah, and he's a good player. He's a good fullback, and he's done it in the past in the World Cups and Euros and things. But yeah, I think there's certain areas where you can have that debate of like who's actually playing well, who do you like, who do you want. But yeah, no, there's. I think he'll always pick the players he likes. Moving
on to for me personally, is our weakest area of a squad is midfield. Bellingham, Mount, Phillips, Rice, and Ward-Prowse. Obviously, Phillips been replaced now by Henderson. Phillips should never be in the squad in the first place. Like he's another one who's been picked on.
Yeah,
he's played like 12 minutes this season. Like I know, obviously injuries and that, but give someone else a chance. Like you know what you can do.
Yeah,
just like give him a call and say, look,
just pick someone else.
Yeah. I don't know who else you can pick in centre midfield. Yeah. Like the fact that Ward-Prowse has got in as well, I'm like,
yeah, like
he's a good set piece player, but I'm not. There's a reason he's still at Southampton.
Yeah, but then again, the way Southgate has his teams, he only needs 2. He only needs 2 of those centre fielders. So Ward-Prowse is like another option. Like you said, he's very good at set pieces, and it's a spot that has to be filled. And I think we're limited in that centre midfield area.
I don't think he makes the 26.
Ward-Prowse?
No, I wouldn't pick him.
I think it'd be one of those that
like one of the 3. You know. Yeah. No, I would take him out of there. And obviously, Jordan Henderson come in. I think he'd be in the squad. He has to be if he's fit.
Rice, Bellingham, Henderson,
Mount.
Phillips is fit. Mount's fit.
Well, they reckon Phillips might miss the World Cup now, don't they? With he's going to have surgery on his shoulder.
Oh, fair enough. Well, yeah, he might go Rice, Bellingham, Henderson, Mount as an option. That's 4 centre fielders there.
Yeah,
I'm not overawed with Mount, to be honest, but
he'll go. He's Southgate's son, so he'll go.
Yeah,
he'll go and he'll start.
Yeah, do you reckon he'll start?
He'll start in a 3 at the back, or he'll start in a 4 at the back, because he'll I could be completely wrong, but I just think he'll start. He'll play if they play that third centre half. He'll take one of the attackers out, which will be like a Saka or a Foden, because getting onto it, Kane starts, Sterling starts. That's it.
Yeah.
They start.
Yeah.
and then they normally, if they're playing 4 at the back, they'll be joined by a Saka or a Foden or a Grealish. But if not, they'll be joined by Mount.
Yeah.
Because Mount's safe.
Yeah.
He's always done it, and he'll always do the same. Well, moving on to the forwards, then we've got Tammy Abraham, Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, and Ivan Toney.
Ivan
Toney.
Ivan.
Yeah.
On there.
Jared Bowen extremely fortunate to be put in the squad. I think.
I do. Yeah, I think that, but then also I suppose Rashford or Sancho are the options, but I think you're just limited, really. I just think you are. The squad almost picks itself. I think you can have a debate about certain players, but to be honest, I wouldn't pick Bowen, but he's not going to start, is he? He might play. Say it gets the World Cup, ignoring the games we've got coming up, but he might play 15 minutes in a World Cup. So.
Yeah, well, for me, he'd be one of them players. Like you said, he's picked 28-man squad for the World Cup. Just say this is the squad you pick from.
Yeah.
The 2 players I drop out are Ward-Prowse and Jared Bowen.
Yeah.
Like they're the 2.
Yeah, Bowen.
Considering he wants to play, he's going to play 3 at the back predominantly. Yeah. I'm pleased Tony's in the squad. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he started the season well, and he last year he was good. He was a good player, wasn't he?
And he probably is the Premier League's second best English striker.
Yeah, I think they're pretty shocking at the minute. Villa have got 2 of them, and they're awful. Watkins and Danny Ings. So.
Yeah, and obviously Calvin
Calvert-Lewin.
DCL is not fit.
Yeah,
and obviously I don't watch Tammy Abraham. Although I did watch him on the weekend. He had an absolute shocker of a miss. If you watch it,
yeah.
I can't remember who they played. They lost at home. Mourinho got sent off.
Yeah, I saw that. He ran on the pitch, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. It was meant to be a penalty, and they didn't give it, and he ran on, and typical Mourinho, red card.
Yeah, it's hard because like Abraham and obviously Tomori, when they go abroad, you don't watch them. Even Bellingham at Dortmund, you watch them if they're Champions League games against English sides, but. Like, they're supposed to be brilliant, and people say, oh yeah, Bellingham's quality, but tell me one person that watches Dortmund week in, week out. No one watches Dortmund, no one's seen Bellingham play, so...
I mean, I really appreciate them going out there. I think it's a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
But when you've got Olivier Giroud, who's like one of the top goal scorers out there, and he's nearly like fucking 39. Ibrahimovic plays out there and he's like 41.
Yeah.
Doesn't that Immobile win the Golden Boot every year? Like,
it's just for the last 20 years.
It's just like I don't really know what the standard is out there.
Yeah.
But no, you can only beat who's in front of you, and if they are playing well, then fair play. That's why Tomori and him are in the squad because they're not at Chelsea and they're playing week in, week out.
Yeah, they're playing, and like I said, they're playing for big teams and like you said, playing week in, week out and doing well. So.
But yeah, two. Well, you just think tough. It's a bloody Nations League. I couldn't even
got 1 point. I think.
I couldn't even tell you where we are. I know our last game we lost 4-0 to Hungary, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then I don't get it, like we're in that competition, but we're qualified for World Cup. So what does it matter? We just played in the Euros and got to the final. So
it's for the Euros, isn't it? If you win that, if you win it, you qualify for the Euros. But you should have to qualify for the Euros anyway, because you have to get your FIFA points.
Yeah, it's mental.
I know France won it last year or the year before. I just remember Portugal winning it when they first came out, and their prize was they qualified for the Euros, but they still have to go through qualification.
Yeah, it's just a glorified friendly, really, isn't it?
It's a load of nonsense.
And like we said, the last international break before the World Cup, which is quite, for the players, probably quite worrying, really. I know they say, if you're not picked, he knows what he could get for you, like Rashford, for example. But it's still surely you want to get picked. That's the aim, isn't it? So
what was that list you had of players, or the other stand-up players that hadn't been picked?
Just 3 of them: Ben White, Rashford, and Sancho. I'm quite surprised at Ben White. I know he's saying he played right back, but Arsenal top of the league, they're playing well at the minute. Ben White is a massive part of that. It just seems bizarre.
I don't think Ben White will go I just think he loves Conor Cody too much, which is just ridiculous, but that's beyond me.
Yeah.
I think Rashford will go. I don't think Sancho will go. Because Rashford probably can play as a striker if need be.
He's got 2 options. It'd be interesting with strikers, really, because like we were saying about Abraham, Toney and stuff, like who will go? Who would he take? Because like we always say, Kane's always going to play.
Looking at that list, I'm thinking Rashford replaces Abraham or Toney, I say. But that was just my gut. And I don't, unless Sancho has a really good next 6 weeks, I don't think he forces his way back in.
No.
Over Foden, Grealish, or Saka or Sterling. Sterling goes. And then
Kane, Sterling, Saka.
I don't think you drop the golden boys of Foden and Grealish.
No.
And
Grealish.
I think Saka plays on the right, and he's just different to all the other players because he plays on the right.
And he can play in those fullback
if need be,
if worse comes to worse. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that brings a nice little end to the pod. We're gone. Hour and 25.
Yeah, solid midweek listen, I think.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to all listeners again. Like, if you've followed us on the socials, you'll see that we hit 1,000 listeners.
We did.
After just 8 episodes and just over, I think it was about 35, 40 days of podcasting, which
is really good. Yeah,
really impressed.
Very happy.
Very happy with it. Blown more than I ever thought we'd ever get. I thought we'd get about 35 listeners.
I'd be happy if it was me, Tate, and
that'd be my mum listening on repeat.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's exciting. That's why like we said, we'd do this if it was just me and Tate listening to it. But the fact more than 2 of us want to do, then we'll always do it. But
yeah, we've got some good ideas coming up in the next week or so. Obviously, we'll have a North London special. We'll have obviously back next week, and
little international debrief.
Might be some more surprises on the way. So like I said, keep sharing, subscribing, 5 stars. Like, if you've got cousins, family, friends, whatever, share it around. And thank you again, and hope you enjoy the episode, and let the feedback if we're shit, if we're good. Like.
Yeah, let us know. Always talk to us. Tell us what you think or what you want to see or hear, whatever.
Yeah, anything we want to discuss.
If you want to join us on the pod, there's always space. So
yeah, well, we had a join us on the pod. You just said that. We did have a little quiz on the Instagram, and someone did answer it correctly, and we may be having a special guest very soon.
Oh wait, before we go, teaser.
Wow!
Oh, can't forget that. Listeners will be fuming.
Imagine that. I'd have to edit that last section out. Wow. So I'm shocked I forgot that. Right. Son Heung-min became the first substitute to score a hat-trick in the Premier League since 2015. Who was the last player to do so?
Hat-trick off the bench.
As a substitute, yeah.
Was it in 2015?
Yeah. I'll give you 3 clues. You have every guess.
Have a guess.
Every guess, I'll give you a clue.
2015.
Could be anyone. He doesn't. First clue: he doesn't play in the Premier League anymore.
Okay, he doesn't play in the Premier anymore. Come off the bench. Super sub. Sadio Mane.
No.
No.
He came on after 9 minutes.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's first clue.
Oh, that's a awful clue. It doesn't help anything at all. Doesn't play in the Prem.
Doesn't help at all, but that is
you get asked these questions, your brain just goes fried.
You've got so many players to pick from.
Yeah, it's such a wide. Shane Long.
No. He's... I won't give it that. That would confuse things even more. He plays for a team who isn't top 6 and isn't relegation fodder. Like a classic. Like, if you think of a
when he scored his hat-trick?
Yeah. Like a typical, he should go to this team sort of thing. He's not top 6 and he's not relegation.
He's not top 6 or relegation. But he doesn't play in the Prem.
No.
Does he still play football?
Yes.
That's so rogue. Oh, literally, I'm rubbish at this. I don't know.
He played for Everton. There you go. An Everton player.
2015, Everton.
And he's a bang average player.
Fellaini.
No. It was against Chelsea. Last quiz, last answer.
Pienaar.
No, got the same first name.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Stephen. I should know this. It's terrible. No idea.
Stephen Naismith.
Naismith. He scored a hat-trick after coming off.
Yeah, it came on after 9 minutes.
Stephen Naismith.
I can't believe we nearly forgot that.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Well, there we go, lads. If you got that, then you're better than me, but stay loyal.
Yeah, stay low.